Hello everyone, my name is Clava Blue, not really, but let's say it is, and move on to WWE Extreme Rules 2013. Wow, fantastic baby. I'm sorry, I have a friend that's gotten me into Korean boy bands, unfortunately. Anyway, I'm going to turn that down, and I'm going to talk about Extreme Rules. Anyway, yes, so the first match was the pre-show, Miz versus Cody Rhodes. I didn't see this because, I was tired, and it's 9:30 in the morning in Australia, so I'm not gonna get up that early. Anyway, but Miz won, in case you wanted to know. Anyway, the next match was, the Chris Jericho versus Fandango match. And, I thought that was a decent match. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, there were some back and forth moments, and Jericho was cool, and Fandango's always cool, and Summer Rae was pretty damn good looking today. Too bad Y2J didn't have just as good looking of a woman there as well, because that would have been even more fun. Anyway, good match, good, fight, whatever you want to call it. 3.5 out of 5. Move on. The United States Championship match. Kofi Kingston versus Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose ended up winning that one, and he is the new United States Champion. That was a pretty decent match. I probably upped it a bit more than what it was actually worth, because obviously Dean Ambrose winning the match kind of makes it better for the rest of the WWE. So I gave that a 3 3/4. And let's move on. So the strap match between Sheamus and Mark Henry. I did not care too much for this match. As I said, Sheamus will find a way to win. He did. I gave that a 2 1/4 out of 5. Let's move on to the I Quit match between Alberto Del Rio and Jack Swagger. I gave that 2.5, and that's pretty high for what it was, because it wasn't that great. I would have preferred the match that they actually had planned, the ladder match. Obviously, a lot of people would have. I reckon that would have been probably a 4-star match. But anyway, overall, this pay-per-view, without having CM Punk or Dolph Ziggler, was decent. And it was definitely made by 2 or 3 matches. Anyway, the next match was... Oh, sorry, in case you didn't remember who won that one, Del Rio won that one. The Shield versus Team Hell No for the Tag Team Championships. This was okay. It was a rather quick match, which I didn't like about it, so I only gave it 2.5. Yeah, I reckon it could have gone on for a bit longer, and then it might have been a bit better, because it was only very short. It was only about like a 6-minute match or some shit like that. Anyway, I gave that 2.5. Yeah. So let's move on to the next match. The Randy Orton versus the Big Show match. And when you think about this, it's an Extreme Rules match. So obviously, just to begin with, it wasn't that, it didn't seem like it would be that good. But then it turned out to be pretty damn good match. I ended up giving it a 3 3/4, almost a 4, because it was just a very decent match. And the ending definitely upped it, because I'm not going to jump to the conclusions of saying heel turn like a bunch of other people will. Definitely Oz Swanton. But, yeah, I think it was still pretty good. And the way that he used the punt to finish off the Big Show was very cool. Other than that, yeah, it was a pretty damn good match. 3 3/4. There was an RKO on a chair. It was in St. Louis, so the crowd was pretty pumped for Randy Orton, because it's his hometown, which I didn't actually realize. But anyway, so that match really kind of surprised me, and I know it probably surprised someone else, who will remain named. I already said his name, though, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, and... Yeah, so pretty much, 3 3/4, Randy Orton versus Big Show, a decent match, a very good match for someone that has, for a match that has the Big Show in it. Anyway, moving on to John Cena versus Ryback for the WWE Championship in a last man standing match, I believe? Yes. Not that mattered towards the ending, because it ended in a draw, which a lot of people weren't happy about. But to me, the ending of the match never really matters to me. It's about the match itself and the moments that you see in that match. And there were some pretty damn good moments in this match. And in fact, it's the one of the only matches that's gone above 4 out of 5. And I gave it 4.25. But that's obviously due to bias because I am a John Cena fan. And people have said, don't say that out loud on the internet because you might get some slack for it. I don't care. Honestly, if you don't like me because I'm a John Cena fan, then stop watching the video. Yeah, anyway. It shouldn't bother you that much. If it does, then yeah, stop watching the video. Anyway, I gave that 4.25 because it was pretty cool the way that it ended. The way the match ended wasn't like great, but the way that it kind of ended... Okay, the way the match ended was great. The end result was not that great because it ended in a draw. But I still liked how it ended with the whole smashing through a thing. I did not say spoiler alert, by the way. Anyway, never mind. I'm pretty sure that's pretty obvious. The final match was Triple H versus Brock Lesnar in a steel cage. I originally gave this 3.5, but then thinking back and looking back at it, I definitely think it's probably a 4-star match for me now. So I'm going to give it 4 stars out of 5, and I'm not sure how much that'll affect the overall result, so I'll put that at the end. I won't actually talk about it. But anyway, this match was good. The only thing I didn't like about it is how much Paul Heyman was involved, and I get it that he's a manager. It's kind of how it's meant to work. But I didn't think he needed to be involved in the match that much, which I think basically it made it a match between Triple H and both of them, which is I guess it's alright. But anyway, Triple H ended up losing. I'm not really sure how I feel about this match. It definitely had star power. But anyway, it was a decent way to end the pay-per-view, and for a pay-per-view that didn't look great on paper, it turned out to be pretty damn good. Not sure how much I gave it out of 10. I'll put that in the description down below. That's all from me. Sorry about any of the music or crap that's been going on in the background. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever you like to do as long as my name is Clover Blue, and I will see you next time.